Good morning, folks. It's another beautiful day in northern Arizona, and we are here inside Picture Canyon, about half a mile from the Flagstaff Mall, but a million miles away in all other respects. This place is named because there are about 120 petroglyph panels on both sides of the canyon. What we're looking at is the south facing side, and just to the left of these two pine trees, tall ones, is a ruin from the time that these panels were carved into the rock. All along the side, on that side, there are panels you can see, but today we're just going to clamber up to the walls on this north facing side, which is less easy to get to, but which has nonetheless some interesting things to look at. This whole area until a few years ago was trashed. It was used as a dump site for people to throw away their tyres and fridges and all that kind of crap. But the city of Flagstaff showed remarkable foresight in purchasing several hundred acres of land, this land, and since that time the city and hard-working volunteers have worked to restore the wetland, the pathways, to make this absolutely amazing place so close to civilization. So we're just going to scramble up the slope here because these things were chipped into rock faces that were sometimes accessible, sometimes not so, to tell their stories. And it's always fun to come looking for them. What you have to do is look for a nice flat surface and see if they've done anything. And for instance, right ahead of us there's a small one of, I'll lift this up, a deer, and it looks like a bird of prey. And as we go along we'll find other ones. I'll try not to trip up and break my leg, which would be a good thing not to do. There are sometimes things which you can't really identify, and the ravage of time and sometimes the stupidity of people knocks them off the rock surface. Here we have the vestiges of modern man who leave their detritus without regard or respect. Anyway, here we have another little elk depiction. I'll come back and get that trash after we've done this. Let's go and have a look down here. You need to be obviously not afraid to scramble around to do this, but it's good exercise and good education at the same time. So the way you get down here is where these basalt cliffs end, and scramble down the little footpath to get to them. And then you can spend hours and hours just wandering around, seeing what you can see. The largest panels, which are very large, are about a quarter mile downstream from here, and are well worth the visit. They've now put up explanation signs so you can get an idea of what all these mean. Climber up here, 2, and then we're back up to the rim. And we're coming up to the narrowest part of the canyon. But as you see, there are not a whole lot of people around. It is Monday, but even so, pretty nice. You can also see the places where birds of prey sit and wait for something tasty to float by, or fly by, or walk by. There are snags, which is the colloquial term around here for dead trees in the centre of the canyon, and these are great places for woodpeckers to check out for food, and nesting sites for bats. Several hundred bats can live in one of these trees, although you wouldn't know it in the daytime. So on the south facing canyon side there, it's hard to see them with the camera here, but those large rocks over there have got large panels on them, and you can just walk on down from that rim to check those out. And then there are lots of other panels on this cliffside here. And it's just worth stopping and looking. Sometimes they don't leap out yet, although there's one on the panel below the cactus across from us. Some rectangles with some various depictions in it. Obviously the clambered down these rocks to get to them. And this is the start of this inner canyon over here. The water that's running down is actually from Flagstaff's wastewater treatment. So, although it's great for the wildlife, probably not too great for us to mess around in. But here we're glad for any water from any source. There's just one other thing, a couple of other things I'd just like to show you before we end this little tour. Just climb around the bits of rocks and things. Alley up. Hop, 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 hop. There we go. My old knees aren't as flexible as they used to be, but still working. Anyway, so above the canyon here are the wetlands that have been restored. It used to be just a straight channel, but they've recreated the winding nature and let the water flood out. This is filled with tall leaves in the summertime, and this wooden structure right in front of me is the remains of a old railroad trestle bridge from the time that logging was conducted out here. So I hope you enjoyed that and found it informative, and I'll wander back to the car now. Later, folks.